Hello everybody, lesson 3, metals. There are about 75 metallic elements known to science, and they are divided into two groups: ferrous metals, iron and steel, and all metals and alloys based on iron. And second group, non-ferrous metals, all the metals and alloys not based on iron. Total world production of metals is around 1 billion tons per year. Of this total, 90% is iron and steel. The other 10% is all the other metals combined. The most widely used ferrous metal is steel, so it's easily the most important metal in use in the world today for all major industry, especially construction. Steel is the major metal used, as we will understand then. These graphs showing that 90% of all metals used are ferrous and only 10% non-ferrous. And here you can see that nearly half of all steels manufactured worldwide are used in construction. And now we talk about using metals. And what is a ferrous metal? We need to clarify the difference between ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Ferrous metals are based on iron or have iron as the main constituent. However, non-ferrous alloys are not based on iron or don't have iron as the main constituent. Most ferrous metals do contain many non-ferrous alloying elements. There are three primary reasons why ferrous metals are so widely used. First, iron containing compounds exist in abundant quantities in the Earth's crust. Thus, iron is cheap in comparison to other metals. Second, ferrous alloys are very versatile in that they can be tailored to have a range of physical and mechanical properties. And third, metallic iron and steel alloys can be extracted, produced or fabricated using economical techniques. And very important major advantages of steel is that they are comparatively easy to recycle and hence confer desirable sustainability properties, which we will discuss later. Of all materials used in construction, steel, along with concrete, is the most important and widely used. Indeed, 50% of all steel manufactured is utilized in construction. Steel using in the case of the football stadium, the cantilever, landmark, both constructed using steel structures. In these examples typify the importance of steel as construction materials. So, how many different uses of metal can you identify? In any industry, in any construction, you can find a steel. Metals are a highly valuable group of materials used for hundreds of products and produced in high quantities. And why are metals very important? About 35 millions 500,000 tons of aluminium is produced every year. The production of copper increased by more than 20 times in the 20th century. Gold is worth more than 30,000 pounds per kilogram. Metals have played an important role in human development. Periods of civilization are even classified by the metals that were used during those times, such as the Iron Age. Different metals are selected for different jobs because of their specific properties. And how are different metals used? Click on the chemical symbols of the metals below to find out how they are used. So, aluminium. First element is aluminium, and aluminium is one of the most abundantly available metals of yours. Given its low density, impressive strength, and more importantly, excellent resistance to weight corrosion, aluminium is one of the most widely used and inexpensive engineering materials. For example, in construction, aluminium used for window frames and structural glazing system, roofing and cladding, etc. The next element is aurum or gold. Gold has many uses in the production of glass. The most basic use in glass making is that of a pigment. A small amount of gold, if suspended in the glass when it's annealed, will produce a rich ruby color. Gold is also used when making specialty glass for climate-controlled buildings and cases. A small amount of gold dispersed within the glass or coated onto the glass surface will reflect solar radiation outward, helping the building stay cool in the summer and reflect internal heat inward, helping them stay warm in winter. Also, gold has the highest malleability of any metal. This enables gold to be beaten into sheets that are only a few millionths of an inch thick. These thin sheets, known as gold leaf, can be applied over the irregular surfaces of picture frames, molding, or furniture. Also, gold leaf is also used on the external and internal surfaces of buildings. This provides a durable and corrosion-resistant covering. One of the most eye-catching uses of gold leaf is on the domes of religious buildings and other important structures. The cost of this roofing material is very high per square foot. However, the cost of the gold is only a few percent of the total project cost. The next element is copper. Copper is used extensively for a variety of applications, especially in construction industry. And copper is used in building for plumbing, pipes and fittings, and sometimes in sheet form for roofing. We will discuss later about copper. The next element, ferrum. We already know that this element widely used in construction, and we will discuss about it later more. The next element is titanium. Titanium is a light, strong, corrosion resistant transition metal with a grayish color. And titanium is recognized for its high strength to weight ratio. Titanium would replace steel in most construction and automobile application. We will discuss about titanium later. And which metal is most likely to be used for each item? So which metal is most likely to be used for each item? For example, gold. You can use it for necklace. Aluminium for drinks can. Iron for bridge. Copper for electrical wiring, and titanium artificial hip joint. It's easy to find products made from metals, but there are other uses of metals that are less obvious. Metals are used as catalyst to speed up reaction. Nickel is used as a catalyst to make margarine. Platinum is used in catalytic converters in car exhaust to clean up fumes and reduce pollution. Compounds containing metals have many uses. For example, metal compounds are used to color materials including stained glass and even makeup. And can you find any other uses of metals? Answer. It's not only the properties of a metal that determines its use. And what decides what metals are used for? Cost. A metal may have the best properties for a job, but it might be too expensive. For example, silver is a better conductor than copper, but it's too expensive to be used for electric wires. Extraction method. This can greatly affect the price and availability of metal. Availability of a metal. For example, aluminium only became a commonly used metal in the late 19th century, as better extraction methods made it cheaper. What other factors might determine how metals are used? Please answer this question. And now we discuss about properties of metals. And what are the properties of different metals? So metals include aluminium, titanium, plumbum, zincum, copper, ferrum, aurum. So it's heavy metal club. And no metals must be accompanied by a metal. And now, do all metals behave in the same way? No. We already know that there are ferrous metals and inferrous, non-ferrous metals. And typical properties of metals. What are the general properties of most metals? Solid at room temperature. It's very important. High melting point. Good conductors of electricity and heat. Malleable, they can be shaped. Ductile, they can be drawn into wires. Strong, very important, and dense, very important. And maybe you can answer why do metals have these particular properties. And about the structure of metals. What is the structure of metals? The atoms in a pure metal are in tightly packed layers, which form a regular lattice structure. And the other electrons of the metal atoms separate from the atom and create a sea of electrons. These electrons are delocalized and so are free to move through the whole structure. The metal atoms become positively charged ions and are attracted to the sea of electrons. And this attraction is called metallic bonding. Electrons and metallic bonding. How does the sea of electrons affect the properties of metal? The electron cell models explains many of the physical properties of metals. They are good electrical conductors because the electrons flow freely in them. They are malleable because of the drifting electrons and because the cations slide easily past each other. They reflect light because of the free electrons. And how does metallic bonding affect the properties of metal? It may be described as the sharing of free electrons among a structure of positively charged ions, named cations. Metallic bonding accounts for many physical properties of metals, such as strength, ductility, thermal and electrical, resistivity and conductivity, opacity and luster. And what happened? What happens to electrons in metals? Ionic bonds form between metals and non-metals. Metals are the elements on the left side of the periodic table. Metals tend to lose electrons to attain noble gas electrons configuration. Groups 1 and 2, the active metals, lose 1 and 2 valence electrons, respectively, because of their low ionization energies.